The outsourced mind. Are we losing cognitive sovereignty? From GPS to AI writing assistants, we are delegating more of our thinking every year. Cognitive science has a term for it called cognitive offloading. The philosophical question is whether there's a point of no return. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you memorized a phone number? Not saved, actually memorized it. Hold that in your head. I knew it by heart. Most of you are drawing a blank. And here's the unsettling part. 10 years ago, you could rattle off telephone numbers without thinking twice. What happened? You didn't get dumber, you just outsourced. Cognitive scientists have a term for this, cognitive offloading. It's when you use external tools, phones, maps, apps, calendars, to perform mental tasks our brains used to handle internally. And on the surface, this sounds fine, smart even. Why clog your mental RAM with phone numbers when your phone holds thousands of phone numbers? A 2011 study by Betsy Sparrow at Columbia University, found that people who know they can Google something are significantly less likely to remember it, even when they try. The brain begins treating the internet as external memory system. Researchers call it the Google effect. But here's where philosophers get nervous. In 1998, Andy Clark and David Chalmers proposed something radical, the extended mind thesis. Their argument, the mind isn't confined to the skull. If a notebook or a phone performs the same cognitive function as your brain would, then philosophically speaking, it is part of your mind. That was exciting in 1998. It's terrifying in 2025 because Clark and Chalmers imagined an extension of the mind. What we have now looks more like a replacement. Take GPS. A study published in Natural Communications in 2020 found that people who use GPS navigation show measurable shrinkage in the hippocampus, the brain region responsible for spatial memory and navigation, compared to London taxi drivers who memorize over 225,000 streets. Use it or lose it isn't a gym metaphor, it's neuroscience. London black cab drivers famously have a larger posterior hippocampus than the average person, and the longer they drive, the larger it grows. GPS users show the opposite effect. The brain literally reshapes itself around what is and isn't asked to do. Now extend that logic to writing. AI writing assistants are now capable of drafting emails, essays, arguments, even research summaries. Students are using them. Professionals are using them. You may have used one today. The philosopher's question isn't whether it is convenient. It's whether there is a cognitive cost that we're not counting. Writing is not just output, it's thinking made visible. When we write, we discover what we actually believe. We encounter the gaps in our reasoning. We are forced to construct, not just retrieve. If we outsource that process entirely, we just don't save time, we skip the thinking. Philosopher's voice. Socrates warned against writing itself. He feared it would weaken memory and give people the appearance of wisdom without the reality of it. Socrates was wrong about writing, but he was asking exactly the right kind of question. What do we lose when we delegate the process? Every generation has asked this about the newest technology, the printing press, the calculator, the search engine, and every time we decided the trade-off was worth it. But here's what's different now. Previous tools delegated storage. Books store knowledge. Calculators store computation. What AI is beginning to delegate is judgment, reasoning, the construction of arguments, the weighing of evidence. That is not cognitive offloading. That is something closer to cognitive abdication. I want you to do something right now. Pause the video. Think of one opinion you you hold strongly on anything, politics, ethics, a preference, a belief. Now ask yourself, can you defend it without Google? Can you articulate why you believe it? Trace the reasoning. Answer a counter-argument entirely from your own head. If you're hesitating, that hesitation is the data point. The philosopher Michael Lynch calls the intellectual dependence, and he argues it's a threat to epistemic autonomy. If your reasoning is outsourced, your conclusions aren't fully yours. And in a democracy, in an academic community, in a life built on ideas, that matters enormously. None of this means you should throw away your phone in the ocean. It means we need a concept we don't quite have yet: cognitive hygiene, a deliberate practice of choosing which thinking to keep inside your own skull, not because the tools are bad, but because the skill of thinking, like the hippocampus of the London cab driver, only grows if you use it. The question isn't whether to use the tools, it's whether you're still in charge of the mind using them. Drop a comment. What's one thing you used to know by heart and you've completely forgotten because of your phone? I'll read the most interesting answers in the next episode.